today, what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to start this presentation exactly the same way that I'm going to finish it. This is not an excuse. This is not a reason now for you to sort of hold on to and think, right, well, you know, I might as well just sort of give up on my body transformation because it's this, and this. Okay, it's not. Okay, that is the main reason why I've sort of been reluctant to talk about this type of stuff before, because you can get a male and a female, and as long as they are putting 110% effort in, they will be a lot happier with their body and they'll achieve the goals and they'll have a nice body shape. I don't care how long it takes. Yes, I'm going to admit, majority of the time, it will take a lot longer for a female to get in shape than it will a male, and it will take a lot more effort for the female to get in shape than it does the male. But that's life and that's reality. Okay, so it's not an excuse. So just because it takes a little bit more effort, it takes a little bit longer, that's a fact. Okay, do not use this as an excuse. So why is it harder for women? Why do they find it harder to lose weight? Now, a lot of different research has gone around, and one of the main reasons is that women just have lighter body weights. Okay, they can do more, they can lift less in the gym, so they don't train as hard because you haven't got that physical capacity and that strength as what a male has. Okay, and it comes down to NEAT as well. So just by moving around, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, you just move around less because sometimes you're not as strong. Like, it could be just to the fact that you're walking to the shops and a male could probably walk home with 2-3 bags, whereas you could probably have to maybe take the pram or take, you'd have to get the car because you couldn't carry them, and it comes down to generally body weight. That is one of the biggest reasons why it takes females longer. Plus, because with a lower body weight, that you're gonna need less calories. So that means as a trainer or whoever can take less calories out of your diet. So if I wanted to go into a deficit, I could easily take 400-500 calories off my body weight, off my daily calories, and I'd start to lose body fat a lot quicker. Whereas a female, I could probably only take 100, maybe 200 off what they're already eating. So again, it takes longer. That is a big reason. Okay, and when we start to take calories off females, they become weaker, even weaker before, a hell of a lot quicker than what a male will. So let's say, for example, I eat 3,000 calories, right? If I take off 500 calories, I'm still eating. I've took 500 calories off my deficit. I can still train quite hard. I still can do quite a lot of things on 2,500 calories. If I take 200 calories off a female that's eating 1,400 calories, it has a lot bigger effect on what they do on a daily basis and how they can train. Okay, so yeah, you just have to do more. So not all females are going to experience what I'm going to be talking about now. There's going to be anything in life, in the human body, there's going to be females that experience what I'm going to be saying 100%, and there's going to be females that experience what I'm saying just not that much. Generally, most people are going to be in the middle. Okay, so one a big problem that I've researched and I've seen when females come to dieting is the drop in leptin. Now, I'm not going to get too much like a science book because at the end of the day, most people don't really care about these. But when leptin drops, okay, we're a lot more hungrier and we lose body fat a lot slower. Now, the studies have shown that when a female goes into a calorie deficit, leptin drops by 20% more than what it does in males. So you're hungrier, so you find your diet harder, you're going to move less, okay? Energy balance is affected a hell of a lot more because of the severe drop in leptin. This is why you find the whole process hard. This is why you probably go off track a lot easier than males, or this is why, it's just your strength goes down a little bit quicker because and the motivation, because you're losing body fat a lot slower. Okay, now there was a study that shows a group of people, right, that was put into a calorie deficit and they was dieted below 10% of the body weight and the body fat, and then they was given when you start to diet, everything slows down. Of course you slow down, you're putting less calories in, so you're burning less. Everything starts to slow down. You start to slow down because you're putting less food in, so your NEAT starts to slow down, okay? So the weight, how much you move daily, everything, your weight's drop in the gym, everything starts to slow down, okay? So these group of people was given, once they started to slow down, the 10% of the body weight, they was quite lean, everything was slowing down, they was given an injection of leptin that brought everything back up to like pre-diet levels. So brought their leptin levels back up before they started the diet, because when we're not in a calorie deficit, leptin levels sort of hover around the same, apart from the menstrual cycle, which we'll get into in a minute. So they brought it back up to normal. Energy went up, hunger went down, so they wasn't as hungry, and then fat loss continued. They were still doing exactly the same, but just with that one injection of leptin, then the whole cycle was sort of corrected, should we say. Obviously, we're not going to be starting to inject leptin, so there is going to be tips and tricks how I can naturally advise that you boost your leptin levels, okay? And it's going to be through something called diet breaks and refeeds, but I'm going to get into that shortly in the next slide, but this just increases the amount of time it's going to take to get in shape. If you're having diet breaks and refeeds, which we're going to explain in a minute, it just takes longer. That's all it is. Like with males, it's not going to take as long because of that, okay? So it's worth to mention that like males' testosterone levels, hormonally they're generally the same. Obviously as we get a little bit older it might dip a little bit, but generally we're sort of looking at it exactly the same. Whereas the females, I'm not going to include information on when you're taking a birth control pill or postmenopausal, because I've not come across enough research for that, and so I'm not going to talk about that. This is like premenopausal, and if you're not taking any birth control pills, your hormones, obviously you'll know better than me, are up and down. I'm going to sort of explain what I've sort of researched, but again, you'll have a better understanding of it than me. Okay, so another way is why females find it harder, okay, is stereotypically the average female sort of thinks that we need to lift light weights, or we need to do cardio for fat loss, and we need to eat carbs because it's got less calories in it. And males generally, as like sort of stereotypically, go towards eating higher protein diets because they want to build up. They go towards the weight room in the gym and they avoid the cardio. So it's sort of, males sort of naturally go towards this sort of better approach to getting shape, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier, because if you're naturally going towards something that you naturally do anyway, you're going to excel in it quicker because you believe in it wholeheartedly and it's what you want to do. Whereas females tend to sort of, in my experience, it takes me a little bit of time to get you to eat more protein. It takes me a little bit of time to push yourself on them weights and get heavy and get stronger. Whereas men just want to do that straight away. Whereas females sort of just don't. They do eventually, but it just takes time. And this is all adding on to how long it's going to take you to get into shape. Okay? Women are designed as well to live longer. Now the human race is sort of, without females, the human race wouldn't continue, so our body knows this, okay? So we use a better word, all males really have to do is donate the sperm, effectively, okay? So and that's what our bodies think, and then their job's done. Women are sort of obviously going to sort of have babies and sort of keep the human race going, so your body wants to hold on to body fat and your body wants to hold on to calories just for the pressures of birth and labour. Now the whole system makes sense, complete sense. It's just a pain in the arse, isn't it, really? So again, another big problem is tracking progression. Now if we don't track progression enough, and like sort of motivation dies if we don't see ourselves getting better. Now weight, again, this is another thing. Mentally, females see weight. They want to see weight. Most lads don't give a shit what they weigh, whereas females want to see weight, want to see different weight on the scales. Yet, we know, hormonally, your weight can fluctuate so goddamn much with water retention. Yet you know that more than me, but you're still bothering about what your scales say. So you could do really well. Now don't get me wrong, the rate of fat loss and water retention is never going to even out. Okay, so generally, eventually, you know, if you are doing everything you should be doing, if you're losing body fat, your weight will take a decline. Okay, but there's going to be weeks where you put maximal effort in, and you haven't lost anything. You haven't done anything. Oh, it's shit. I blame the diet or I blame the gym. And in reality, you know that it's your time of the month. You know you're better than me, and you just sort of not. And then you get bloating comes as well. So you're going to start to feel bloated, and you know that's your period, and you know that's the cycle, and it still gets you down about your progress in the gym. Okay, so you need to sort of and I totally understand that, because if you feel like crap as well, then everything's going to slide in the gym. So of course you're going to blame it, but that's what we need to realise that as well. Okay, so it makes tracking progress extremely hard. Now what my advice will be is to understand your cycle more, of how you're going to be feeling, how you're going to be looking. Weigh yourself at the same time of the month, at the same time of your cycle, and you'll have a better judgment of how you look and how your progress is. Also as well, taking the picture at exactly the same time of month, exactly the same time of day, because that is the only way that you're going to have a true reflection of how well you're doing. Again, it still might differ. You know, you probably know better than me. You know, it might differ from month to month. I don't know, but generally it's going to be the same, and it's going to make it a little bit easier to track progress in it, because again, tracking progress is extremely hard. And females are notorious for weighing themselves a hell of a lot more than males. So me just saying that, you still weigh yourself every day. Okay, that's the reality. You shouldn't weigh yourself every day, not because we don't just say this for the good of health. We say this for a good reason. Don't weigh yourself every day. Okay, so tracking progress makes tracking progress a lot hard. Now, this is the best sort of, again, I don't really like talking about this because you're going to know better than me, okay, than what your cycle is. But the flip of the phrase, estrogen is dominant for the first 2 weeks, okay? In the second half, the luteal phase, progesterone is much higher, okay, the second half. So you're going to start to, and for the reason being, from the research that I've got, is when the egg drops, then your body thinks that you're going to get pregnant, so it wants to consume more calories, wants to consume more fats, wants to consume more carbs, because it's planning to have a baby. Okay, so when progesterone is higher, that is a horrible hormone to be high, especially when you're trying to drop body fat. Okay, because it's going to store it, especially around your legs, and the legs are a lot harder to utilize as fuel and burn body fat. Okay, so they're the key hormones in the fat storage. Okay, upper body. Again, we come to upper body when we're when we're wanting to lose body fat. It's easier to lose body fat off our upper half, male and female. It's easier to lose body fat off our upper half, okay? And it's harder to lose body fat on the lower half, whereas most females store body fat lower. Okay, so it becomes harder to drop body fat because of where we're storing it. Upper body fat is utilized quite easily. Okay, so again, women also as well is they burn fat during exercise just like the male. Okay, but afterwards females tend to use more carbs as fuel, so they utilize more body fat as energy, less than males do. Now, if you don't know already, now you should do, is the key to long-term fat loss is what we're doing the other 23 hours in the gym, that outside the gym, that actual exercise session. Okay, it's going to burn a few calories, okay, but it's not about, for long-term fat loss, how many calories you can burn in that particular hour. It's how you can sort of help your body to turn over through NEAT and through having more muscle mass. So you're going to be burning it's how we utilize fuel after the gym. Now, males are distinctly better at burning fuel after the gym. Okay, women are not. Again, not an excuse. It's just going to take you longer. So you're going to have to keep your motivation a little bit higher because it's going to take you longer. Now, the luteal phase, your strength is going to go down. Okay. Now, if we're just training for body shape, right? Who gives a fuck? Really? if you can't lift, if you were shoulder pressing 15s, but during this phase you're shoulder pressing 10 or 11 or 12, does it really matter? You're not competing in the Olympics. Now, if you was a power lifter, right, and your 1 rep max was this, and then during your cycle, your 1 rep max will be affected massively, then of course, that's going to have an effect, but it's not. Anyone who's watching this video is in this group or who's with THQ is not in, it's not that big a deal. And sooner what is a big deal is when we let that get on our head, leave the session, be fed up, fuck it, I mean shit. That is the problem, okay? Not the fact that sometimes in a month you're going to be a little bit weaker, because we really don't care, okay? We know that if somebody's putting maximal effort in and they're just not feeling it, it's like sometimes lads might have had a hard day building or scaffolding and they're not lifted as much. We don't care, as long as we can see you're putting maximal effort in, that's all that matters, okay? That's what we need to sort of get out of our head as well, okay? So it doesn't really affect too much, okay? So in the luteal phase as well, fats and carbs become more desirable, okay? So during this phase of your cycle, fats and carbs, you will know this, obviously you get sugar cravings and fat cravings. Now, this is when ideally, right, we could take like a 2-day diet break or a 2-day refeed of carbohydrates and fats and sugars and things like that we can sort of have. This doesn't mean binging and forgetting about the whole thing. It means just taking, still being controlled with our calories, but taking things up a little bit just to take us out of that deficit. Because a refeed and a diet break, okay, there's 2 different ways of doing it. Now, if we are just having, like in the 12-week shoot transformation, we suggest like 1 cheat meal. 1 cheat meal, right, is not enough to affect your body hormonally. It's enough to sort of replenish glycogen stores so that you feel a little bit stronger, your muscles might feel a little bit fuller, but it's not enough to affect leptin levels or anything hormonally. Remember what I spoke about leptin levels earlier on, is so you need to have 2 days where we really increase that, have a 2-day diet break or a 2-day refeed, and we increase that and we get them up to maintenance just above, and we get hormonally back on track so we're feeling good, to then prepare us again for a deficit. Now the trouble is, again, I hold hands up, this is the hardest thing to do, is keeping moderation when you're having a diet break, okay, keeping sure that you're still in control of the diet, and also getting back to that strictness after. It's the mentality and the mental side of the whole process, but you should do yourself this, and as well as psychological benefits of being able to do this when you feel like eating like that, it does have massive benefits like I've just explained, okay? So that could help it in that way. Okay, during the ovulation phase and the follicular phase, where your strength does go higher, okay, this is when you could sort of, say we're lifting on shoulder press and, you know, previously you've done 10s, 12s, maybe you feel yourself getting stronger, you know you're stronger, you feel it, then maybe this is when to give yourself a bit of a push in the gym, go yourself a little bit higher, leave the gym with your endorphins for a little bit more, to feel like you've actually achieved something a hell of a lot more, okay? So you could use that to your advantage. Again, this all takes effort, more effort than what males have to do, okay? But if you want to transform your body, this is, and you're really struggling with this, and you're one of these females that really does struggle with this, then you need to sort of do this, okay? So, but we do need to stay in control. Now the practical solution that we think, and we've always done this already without actually, like, we generally don't let people do the 12-week shoot, well we don't, unless they've had a lot of experience, straight away. We either give them at least another 12 weeks before, or we give them like a couple of months. You know, not many people, and everyone watching this will know, not many people do the shoot straight away. You build yourself up to it. So it cannot be like joining THQ and not doing anything diet-wise and not doing anything. You're sort of building yourself up to be a little bit more committed, because females need more than 12 weeks to get in shape. So what we could do is, for what us do, is we could set you, if you had an idea you wanted to do a shoot, right, then you could tell us 2-3 months beforehand. We could set you a calorie target, right? This is if you're one of these females who are really struggling to get in shape. Set you a calorie target. We've planned refeeds and 2-day diet breaks as well. so that we can boost up your leptin levels. But again, you can't be saying, I can't eat this much food, I can't eat this much food, because we can't do it like that, okay? So we need maximal effort. Again, dieting, there's not many successful times that people have been strict, like in control for 6 months, because for some 6 months it might take you that long to get in shape. If you're not getting it, it might take you longer than 3 months. It's just harder to stay committed like that. Like, most lads can just diet if they haven't got that much body fat really for 12 weeks hard and look amazing, but women can't. So yeah, so I'd say more, it's going to take you 12 more longer, okay? But we don't let people do back-to-back shoots by doing, like, dieting down, doing a shoot and then going again. It doesn't work like that, unless you're thinking that because you've asked us that before. It doesn't work like that. We have one final day and we have to start you off a little bit sooner. Okay, that's why generally people like to do the shoot, but if you wanted a structured program for 6 months, we could do that and then get to that point with diet breaks to boost up them leptin levels and refeeds as well, okay? You don't just do 2 shoots back to back, okay? That would not work, okay? So again, you've got to sort of, I'm not expecting people to have a really structured, you know, this is my cycle, I need to know exactly, I need to plan now to be stronger on this 3rd, 4th week, because this is what I feel like my body, when I've got 3 kids and a full-time job and I'm trying to keep on my diet and I feel like I'm going to bloody explode, because that's what you will do. Again, I'm just suggesting you have a good idea of when you're stronger, when you're not. But if you don't feel like doing that, don't do that. Just accept that sometimes you're going to be weak, sometimes you're going to be stronger. You make the whole process easier. I do accept that we've got a lot to be, you know, a lot to be focusing on. Okay, I'm going to say again, it's not an excuse, it's just going to take longer. Okay? So again, what I want to just sort of finally cap on is the end of it is it's just going to take you longer to get in shape. Now, will you might not be able to get really super lean? Maybe not, but not super lean. Not a lot of people can anyway. So you will be able to walk around naked and be a hell of a lot happy with your body if you give it 100% effort. Okay, so I hope this has made a lot of sense, and I hope it helps people. Again, any questions, you know, shoot me a message. I'll be happy to help.